Angeles. Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero with the last word on a Game 3 classic.
Freddie Freeman, absolutely the most popular guy in Los Angeles and beyond. Welcome to Morning Mike's, brought to you by Venbrook Insurance. How about it? How about Freddie Freeman? Not afraid to hit a walk-off home run in the World Series. He's done it before. He's an absolute stud. He did it in the bottom of the 18th inning. This is crazy. I mean, that is 2 complete baseball games for the price of 1. 2 entire games. 7-game series, that's an 8-game series now. What a moment. And you know what? You know what I felt when he hit that? Nothing, because I was asleep. After 17 innings, I said, I'm just going to watch this in the morning. Oh, my mic isn't working, Steve. Someone said my mic isn't working.
Really? Your mic is here.
What? Your mic is echoing. It's not working. It's echoing. There's a lot of things here. Oh, the microphone's not on, Steve. Hang on.
Is it on now? Evil Knievel. Yeah. Is it on now? Is it on now? Is it on now? Hey, babe. Got the Roadcaster going. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Someone give me a thumbs up on this microphone. Steve, it was on the default thing. Now I put it on Roadcaster. Is it on? The mic is working. Thank you. We've had confirmation. I was dead asleep after 17 innings. I cannot tell you how important sleep is for me these days. Not drinking so much, right? And in fact, hardly at all. And got to get to sleep. And so I'm like, I can watch this on the internet tomorrow. But you know, don't you know that feeling when you've been there so long, you've given so much time, it's now like a stubborn thing? It's like you made it 17 innings. I said, but what if this thing goes 26 innings? Am I going to sit there at 2 o'clock in the morning going, I'm doing this. I'm going to finish this. I can watch it on the internet. And wouldn't you know it, the very next inning, the Dodgers close it out with the great Freddie Freeman. Holy man, a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 18th. So amazing. You know, I think is great. Joe Davis, the announcer that replaced Joe Buck. He's a young guy, just smooth. He just handles everything beautifully. People want to know about the shirt. It's Evil Knievel. And that's right, a big Evil Knievel fan. And I decided this morning I would wear it in honor of America and Evil Knievel. Good morning to you all. Good morning, Jules. Good morning, sweet Jules. That way. Speaking of Jules, they've apprehended the suspects in the Louvre burglary. What took so long? Oh my God. Yeah, to the World Series game here. It's epic. It's the longest World Series game, second longest time-wise, tied for innings. 2018, Game 3, again, the Dodgers and the Red Sox. It lasted 18 innings, 7 hours and 20 minutes. This was 6 hours and 40 minutes, 39 minutes, but tied for the longest game in World Series history. Will Klein, what a hero for Los Angeles. He came in as the 10th relief pitcher. The 10th. I mean, literally after that, they were going to the drunk guy in section 486 and bringing him down. And this guy he pitched 4 shutout innings and was a monster. I mean, God, he looked like the best pitcher throughout the entire game. They were hanging on to this guy for way too long. He had a major career moment. And Shohei Ohtani, I mean, it is, you know, we are witnessing the greatest baseball player ever to play the game, and he's a baby. We've got many more years of Shohei. He got on base every single time he approached the plate. He had 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and they walked him 5 times. 4 times on purpose. 4 times they said, mercy. You know what I love? when I was a kid, they used to have the catcher used to stand behind. We'd have to go through the whole rigmarole of the catcher stepping outside, and they'd throw him the ball, and we'd have to do actually go through the motion of 4 balls. And now they just say, we're walking him, and he can take off his stuff and walk to the bag. But that's respect. I mean, they fear him. And the irony of that Shohei Ohtani is so feared, and yet he's got like the sweetest baby face. You know what I mean? He's such a cute, like giant boy. And his ass cheeks must be just like blistering red. Every time he comes in the dugout, they're like, psh, 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 psh. He's like, whack that ass. Such a funny thing about baseball players, There's more ass smacking in baseball than any other sport, and they're wearing very tight, sort of yoga pants. I love it. I interviewed Ohtani afterwards. He said, "What matters is that we won. I want to go to sleep as soon as possible so I can get ready." Shohei Ohtani pitching tonight for the Dodgers as they go 3 in a row. I mean, these guys got to be exhausted. They just played 2 baseball games in a row, and now they're going in. What should be night 2 is night 3, frankly. Ohtani will be on the mound. He'll be hitting and pitching. The ratings for this will be through the roof, especially because of last night. And, Ohtani is like Tiger Woods. Whenever Tiger Woods in the heyday was, in a tournament and especially in the hunt, the ratings doubled and tripled. And there's something else mysterious about Shohei Ohtani. And that is that every time he does an interview afterwards and the translator is standing there and he answers in Japanese, I think it's his commitment to perfection. He wants the answer to be precise. And so the translator, delivers his intent. But if you look at the camera in the dugout, he is literally having full-blown conversations with guys, and they're leaning over. You can see him talking to Max Muncy, and Muncy's going, "Yeah, so anyway, great shot over there." And he's like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." They're talking, they're having a full conversation. You don't see Max going, "You need to get to the bag," and then he's not doing that. So he has no problems with the English language. He just doesn't want to make any mistakes. How about that? His perfectionism carries right over to the game. Ciao, good morning. How are things in Italy? That's a good question. How are things in Italy? I'm going to say the pasta is al dente. The wine is flowing. It's very beautiful over there. Had to do it. Nita says, "I'm glad Billy's show is growing. It is getting harder to say hi." Joy. How are you? Good morning, Joy. Good day, Mr. Knievel. Yeah. Don't we miss Evel Knievel? What a great part of the American landscape. What an icon. Gotta say, are you nervous about all that ass slapping? Are you envious about all that ass slapping, Billy? I played hockey. You got pants on, you got, padding on the pants and gloves. So there's really no good contact between another player's hand and your ass. Same with lacrosse. The Bushman was a lacrosse player. He was an All-American lacrosse player, not going to lie. In high school, a high school All-American, and then 4 years in college. And the ass slapping was also sacrificed by the gloves. And you don't want to be a guy that takes off your glove so you can slap another guy's ass, because then you look too eager. You look like, I'm getting into this, right? Don't go out of your way to take off the glove for better contact. And then soccer. So soccer was the third sport. And it's just not an ass slapping thing. So, I missed out on all that. Hit the like and share with 3 friends, says JPB. Jessica, I wonder how you're doing, sweetheart. Jessica did her journey. She did you do the second one? I think you did the second one. Thinking about you on that one. I hope that went well.
Bill, a lot of people are commenting on the Cheryl interview. Everyone liked it. Some thought she was a little cautious in her answers, but everyone really
Well,
liked
Cheryl's
it.
definitely cautious in her answer. She's a woman. So yesterday we had Cheryl Hines. And look, I know she's been everywhere. That's why I started the Hot Mics podcast saying, here we are with Cheryl Hines for an exclusive interview. I thought that might be funny. It's clearly, she did, not only did she do Megyn Kelly, she did Megyn Kelly's husband's podcast for the 5 people that his best friends that follow him. I'm like, but no, the truth is, they said you can go much earlier, but it has to be via Zoom because Cheryl's doing the East Coast, the New York stuff, and then coming out west. So I said I'd rather be in person. And I asked Cheryl Hines, can you tell when an interviewer or a podcast host or whatever has not read your book? And she's like, oh God, yeah. It's a long thing. Steve and I always talk about this because back in the day, I would tell the guys I didn't have time to read what if it was like an Access Hollywood Live interview. I said I didn't have time to read the book, and I was never fully myself in those situations because you feel like I did you wrong. You took 2 years to write something, and I didn't take 2 hours to read it, or 3 hours. I read very slowly. So I did read every word, and it emboldens you because you know everything about their lives, and the more you know, the more they will give and allow you to go in all kinds of different places because you have taken the time to read the book. Would you date her, Billy? She's married. But I do. There's a lot of guys that have a Cheryl Hines thing. It's a known thing. It's kind of like you call it a subreddit. It's a side channel, but there's a thing for Cheryl Hines amongst many men. I don't know why. It's it's just an interesting story. She grew up very modestly, poor, I would say. But in Tallahassee, Florida, and then marries a Kennedy, Hyannisport, old Bobby Kennedy. And she talks about, oh my God, the moments. I mean, how about this? How about Ethel Kennedy? RFK's wife, Ethel, her husband, Bobby's mom dies. They didn't meet till they were, Cheryl didn't meet her till Ethel was 83, but when Ethel died, they did 2 funerals. One service was in Washington, where Bill Clinton did the eulogy, and Barack Obama spoke, and all the Democrat elites came out to pay their respect. And then they did the one for the family in Hyannisport. And look, Bobby Kennedy's the second oldest child. He has one older brother, Joe Kennedy, named after Big Joe, the patriarch, but he was a congressman. Bobby Kennedy was doing the eulogy, and in the service, and there was all kinds of, this is when the family got split. His siblings, Kathleen and Joe, and all, they split with Bobby. They were pissed off that he was running for office in the first place, probably jealous. And then when he joined forces with Trump, they went bonkers. But even before that, when he declared, they were all against him, his own brothers and sisters. And in Mom's funeral, Joe Kennedy sitting in the front row, he starts cursing, and, a big vocal, emotional outburst, cursing at his brother in church in Hyannisport during his mom's service. And they had to remove Joe, like you remove all babies who are, screaming and you can't hear the sermon. They take him out. And then right after that, the priest comes, and as Bobby Kennedy is speaking, they move him away. They take him off stage. They give him the cane. And he gets, it's just, can you imagine the kind of hooliganism this is? I mean, this is the Kennedys. How lowbrowed. I can't believe it. You know, Cheryl's the one from redneck territory, right? And this behavior, I mean, come on, her family. The stories she tells about her family are incredible. They've been through such loss. By the way, like the Kennedys, such loss and death, her older brother, her nephew, but such a tight-knit family, always looking out for each other, and it's beautiful. And the Kennedys, I couldn't believe that story. So we talked about that sort of at length. And I also talked to Cheryl about, Bobby had that indiscretion, lack of judgment when he was texting with the reporter from New York Magazine, Olivia Nuzzi. And Bobby Kennedy, I think there wasn't a physical relationship, but he shared some, like shirtless photos or whatever. And just the barriers went down. And we talked about it. I said, did it hurt you? Because you had sacrificed so much to support his ambitions. And think about what Cheryl has sacrificed. I mean, in order to be Bobby Kennedy's wife and support him, and, her entire acting community, all of her fellow Hollywood celebs have turned their backs on her. They've locked her out. She's lost friends, which is, I said, Cheryl, it's not on you. That's on them. That's such insular, secular, sad, behavior. But because she had sacrificed so much, and she said, yeah, but you know what? It gave us an opportunity to put our heads together and say, who are we? Where are we going? What is this relationship? Because they'd had a year and a half of traveling and campaigning. And, I think everybody here can relate that your relationship with somebody, if the communication is off, that's when it becomes vulnerable and things can happen. And they just weren't on the same page. It became like, you go there, I'll go here, but they weren't connected. And she said, as soon as when the story broke, she was in Europe with her kids. And she landed, and she and Bobby got into the SUV, political car. He went to pick her up. They pulled into a parking garage. They asked the security people to leave. They spoke for an hour, putting their heads together, and then they got home. They decided, okay, we're going to continue these discussions, because she was thinking, this could be over right now. They go home and they lock themselves up for 3 days, and they just, they reconnect, and they decide, yeah, we are going forward. Yeah, we love each other. And you know what? She forgave him. Here's my question. Had it been physical, would it have been different? Sometimes women say, yeah, it's more the emotional stuff that hurts more, not the physical. Not men. For men, it's all physical, right? You unhook that bra, and that's it. Men only see. I mean, maybe not, but it's in his DNA. I mean, is it? I don't think DNA passes on like. Yes, different physical, but that would have hurt too. Emotional affair, much worse. See, that's the line I hear the most from women. Deb says the emotional affair is. I think so. Yeah. Because that's, yeah. I think many men have been forgiven for taking off to, Mexico and doing something that you shouldn't while you're out with a bunch of bozos and, right? I mean, except for, it's just, do you have the ability to see, the act of sex or physical intimate connection as just an act, like going to the gym and working out? You know what I mean? Look at this. Billy, did you see that Alan Jackson sent Mayor Wu of Boston a letter to put Commissioner Cox on the Brady list? I love me some Alan Jackson. Yes. Good for you, Alan. Commissioner Cox, the Boston police commissioner, The Brady list is the, can't testify list. This is a compromised officer list. And, he was pushing for Kelly Devers in the Karen Reed trial to be put on that list in Boston. She was put on that list in Canton. And before they could put her on that list in Boston, she resigned or they released her. No one got to see the compensation package for that. Jessica says, I don't think I could stay with my husband if he cheated, even just once. The trust is broken. Hell no, you cheat, you hit the door. I don't know. People are flawed, man. It's an opportunity to make the relationship better than ever. Or, it exposes something that's wrong in it and you get a chance to fix it or leave it. But you do get a chance to fix it. I think many have. In this case, there wasn't any physical stuff. And I believe that. I don't think, I think that's the truth. I think it was just he exercised poor judgment. And remember, Bobby Kennedy, there's all kinds of examples in her book. Bobby Kennedy took her on a date. They went hiking in Bhutan. And at the top, he took on a yak. There was a yak on a mountaintop, a big beast who was coming after them. And Bobby took it on. Yeah, he's I don't know. He's got this warrior mentality and he speaks to animals and it's very odd. Mama Roll, back to the Karen Reed trial. Yeah, I'm wondering where Kelly Devers disappeared to. Well, she's ruined. She's got to go into the private sector and if she's going to stay in the Boston area, change her name. I think that's for sure, right? Mary, let's talk about relationships. I do like that. I'm not sure I would give up so quickly. I would want to know what was wrong in our relationship, if anything, and possibly try to fix it through counseling, etc. Yeah, you see, Mary, I don't, what you want to do is say, oh, he's a disgusting pig. He cheated. He's the words. I didn't do anything. It's him. He did it. Why did he do it? Something's wrong, and first thing you got to do is take agency and say, where's my role? What happened here with us that this went on? And if it's just physical, it's just wanting something else off the menu. You know what I mean? Then it's just, I'm an old school guy. I'm going to tell you something. To me, sex is not an act. I'm going to tell you something. If it's just hooking up and someone you don't know, you can't. Not to say that hasn't happened in life. It's, at certain turns here, but it's just not the same, right? I think my parents raised me way too strong conscience and all this stuff, and just I don't know, could never do that. Just hook up and feel great about it, But you got that voice, right? That id, and you're a young guy, and there's a beautiful, she's like, let's go. And you're like, I'd be a fool. I gotta do this. So you talk yourself into it. Oh my God. Your parents raised you right. You know what, Jennifer? They did. But I got to tell you, remember what Rob Lowe said about guardrails? Yeah. He did. You know what? That is it. Deb, you are literally high right now. Girl, put down whatever 3-foot bong you have cradled between your legs and your knees. Am I the white Oprah? Am I the white male Oprah? Am I? Is it possible that I'm the white male Oprah? I think so. Speaking truth to the people. What? By the way, Steve's in the house today. He's not. You notice he's not in the. There's no drum kit. Steve's here. Steve, it's so funny. There's Steve's picture, and Steve is 6 feet away. 6 feet. I can reach over and high five Steve. He's right there. As a woman, I already have enough self-doubt. I don't need to think about if I measure up. Wow, Michelle, that was very honest and vulnerable. And male white Oprah wants to say that he thinks you're courageous. Yeah, we all live insecurities. You know what that is, though, Michelle? did a big, long, I've been studying this as of late a lot, and that is the ego. The ego within us is the one that's feeding you information about self-doubt. That's not you. Okay, Michelle? White Male Oprah wants you to know that this talk about self-doubt is going on in your head. You're carrying on this narrative. The ego is carrying on this narrative, and it isn't you. You, if you want to say who you are the person, the vantage point that rises above thoughts like that and witnesses them and observes them and says, look at that. Thoughts of self-doubt creeping in, feeling a little insecure, feeling less than, feeling you don't measure up. And you witness that and then acknowledge it and let it pass through. I just finished my guy's book, my integrationist, Keith Crossley. I just finished his book, State Within Light. It is simply the best book I have ever read. And I have read more self-help shit in the last 9 years than everyone in this chat section combined. Everything from, The Power of Now, the Daily Stoic, the Unchained, everything. And this is the best book I have ever read. It is about enlightenment. The state within light means your state within the middle of the light. It's just another way of saying enlightenment. And what is enlightenment? It's not some beautiful spiritual holy moment where the Buddha comes out and says, you've just starved yourself for 3 years and you have meditated in silence for 48 days like the Buddha himself and come to enlightenment. No. Enlightenment is embracing the idea, finally realizing that what you thought was everything is really just nothing. And that means being content, being able to feel everything, the good, the bad, the positive, the negative, without becoming undone by either. And that's it. So many people are not enjoying their life because they're so busy planning what life's going to be like when it gets good, or regretting the past. And the ego loves to freaking weaponize the past and keep it coming back. Oh boy. That's it. Oh my God, White Male Oprah is just on a roll. What the hell is it? What did he he woke up on a bender? Yeah.
We were talking about books, and yesterday I put up, we didn't talk about it, but a couple of people asked if you've read any of the books behind you.
Oh, all of them.
And it seemed relevant.
Yeah. Have I read any of the books behind me? Yeah, all of them. These are them. Yep. Careless People. That's about the Facebook whistleblower. Yeah, actually, no. There's my Ryan Holiday books. The Obstacle is the Way. That's a good one. What you think is that big thing in front of you that's so awful, it's actually the way. It's showing you the way. The thing you're trying to go around and like, oh no, for me, it was that terrible event that happened years ago with NBC News. And I thought, oh God, this is it. No, it's that event that is revealing. By the way, I'm just putting those pieces together, that is the greatest blessing ever, leading me to where we are, leading me to understanding. I think I was so lost on what everything had to be great and had to be working and I had to be making tons of money and like all that. That's not it. You have to be able to know this side of life. Woo. And the beauty of life is the journey, the bad and the good equally. And if you don't have shit that like blows you up or freaks you out, White Male Oprah, I'm cracked WMO. Wemo. Is that white? WHIMO. Wemo. Not Waymo. You're not riding in a Waymo. You're riding on a Wemo right now. White Male Oprah. That's me. Oh my God. The only thing in my Billy Bush's book club right now is State Within Light by Keith Crossley. I finished it last night and I was like, this is amazing. So much so that I just watched the Dodger game like with a half an eye for the last 3 innings on mute because it was better than the World Series. Can I get an amen? Amen. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose. Boy, there's so much going on out there in the world. Yeah, they busted those at the Louvre. 2 suspects arrested. French prosecutors say the release of this information could hurt investigations as they are still on the search for the thieves. More thieves. They want more of them. They got 2 suspects. This was definitely a ring that involved more than 2 people. Yeah, a police official who was not authorized to speak publicly about the ongoing case told the Associated Press that 2 men in their 30s, both known to police, were taken into custody. He said one suspect was arrested as he attempted to board an airplane bound for Algeria. The police official added that one of the suspects was identified through DNA traces. Paris prosecutors said she fears the investigation might be harmed by the hasty disclosure over the weekend of the arrests of 2 other robbery suspects. Well, they had to get somebody, right? This is one of those things where you're not sure, did they get the right person because they're under such intense pressure to get somebody? Because you just look like, like we said, Inspector Clouseau. Just a little bumbling and a little how shitty are you that you can't find, someone breaks into the Louvre? That's like someone ripping off the Corcoran Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. and they get away with it? Like, what? Although I have to say, Steve, down the street from us, not too far, yesterday, broad daylight, somebody robbed Chase Bank. A good old-fashioned bank robbery. Like, what the hell? They're not just doing it online anymore. This is a bank robbery. And what is wrong with people, right? What the hell is going on? It's crazy. I can't believe it. Anyway, that's isn't that nuts? Yeah. Look at Lisa. Lisa, that's terrible. Oprah and Gail need to just get married. That is so, there is no, I think Gail loves dudes. She's always talking about dudes with me, right? She is. Who did Gail have fireworks in an interview with? Oh, Karine Jean-Pierre. Yeah, the former press secretary for Joe Biden, whose book, Independent is out, and this woman is crazy. Karine Jean-Pierre is claiming that I never saw Biden in an incapacitated state. You didn't, huh? Working in the White House, you never saw. She goes, it was only the first time. The first time I saw him in a little bit off was the debate, like everyone else. So she just continues the lie in her book. We all saw it. Every single person saw it on a regular basis, right? It wasn't a TV apparition, something we were making up, Karine. We saw it. We saw him wander off in the middle of a D-Day celebration, of a memorial in Normandy. We saw him trail off, in a G7 speech, and Giorgia Meloni, the prime minister of Italy, has to go get him and bring him back. How about at a campaign event? He's on stage, he just starts walking, and Barack Obama has to bring him back. I mean, so this woman just takes all this time, writes this book, and sticks to the lie. Anyway, she and Gail went at it. Everybody now, of course, is going after her because they got to. They can't. Nobody can perpetuate the story anymore. Not in the media. Whoa, Rose. What do you mean by that? Can we talk about Candace Owens dies? Anyone else think she might be silenced? I'm honestly, Rose, I'm so sorry. I can't follow Candace anymore. I think she's incredibly bright, very intelligent person, but there's a culture of conspiracy theorists out there who are who know the algorithms and know what whips up business, and I think it becomes more about growth and success. I don't buy it. I just think some things are so absurd that I think they're not. I think our culture, our discourse is so sensitive right now that you have to be as, the loudest voices I wish were totally responsible. And I think it's too much. I can't follow that. I can't waste my time following that. Waste my my mental, well-being following all that.
Billy, Richard, English Dick, he's in England and he's being affected because we haven't changed our time clocks till Saturday, so he's an hour off from us.
Oh,
And now people are asking, what do you think of the time? You like the spring back, fall forward? What do you think we should do?
I think it's ridiculous that we have daylight savings. I don't understand why we mess up with our clocks at all. By the way, Instagram fed me this place in Norway that apparently has no time. They don't do time. They don't do days. They don't do hours. They don't do. It's like, I'll see you in a little while. I'll meet you at the bar. I'll see you in a little while. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what it means. I'm 54 years old and I don't know what. I know it's spring forward and fall back. So on Saturday, when I go to sleep on Saturday, no, we have iPhones. The iPhone changes the time for you. There's no more setting back your clock. Tim Cook is going to set that for you. And when you wake up, the time that it's supposed to be, it will be. English Dick, my dear fellow, why does this screw him up?
I think it's going to help him when we fall back.
By the way, Lynn, I think you are correct. It is Richard Nixon who's responsible for daylight savings. You see, screwed by Nixon again. This guy. What are you going to do? My buddy who's staying with me here in my house is actually down for the day. He's with Brett Baer. Sent me a picture with Brett Baer last night, who delivered a speech at the Nixon Library, and they had an event at the Nixon Library in the OC. And so he sent me a picture with Brett Baer because they're buddies from DC. We will be having Brett Baer on Hot Mics. I have to say, he does special report for Fox News. I've always said that Brett Baer is like a young Hugh Downs. You know what I mean? Like, he's a real newsman. He's got a newsman, and I love the guy. He's a 4 handicap, maybe lower in golf. He's a tremendous golfer. Everybody knows that. But I think Bari Weiss, who took over as the editor-in-chief of CBS News, Bari Weiss of the Free Press, sold the Free Press for $150 million to Paramount Skydance, got her own payout, and also part of the deal gets to be the editor-in-chief at CBS News, which is the first time someone who's not an abashed, full-blown left-wing liberal is running that big news organization. And she doesn't have to report to the president of CBS or anything. She reports directly to the chairman and CEO, David Ellison. She's got a direct report to the big cheese, Larry Ellison's son. So, but the big report, the news is that Brett Baer has a long contract at Fox News. And I think Bari Weiss, according to people I know, that they were trying to get Brett Baer to be the anchor of CBS Evening News. And let me tell you, I think that would have been very successful because Brett Baer is one of those people. Yes, he's part of the Fox News group, but I think all the outspoken left-wingers would say, they're all crazy over there. Well, except Brett Baer. I think they'd all say, except Brett Baer. He plays it very, he plays the middle. And if he's middle right to me, good. I do believe America operates the best middle right, and I think it operates the second best middle left before you get too far right or too far left. Anyway, Brett Baer would have been great, but I think he's locked up at Fox News for too long. And I will say this, a lot of people who leave Fox News and go to the networks get screwed. Megyn Kelly thought she had it made on Fox News Channel. She went over to NBC. They absolutely they did her good and had with a shiv in an alleyway, and she hired Brian Friedman and came back and got her money. I think she got about 65, 67, something like that, $1 million in a payout by NBC. So they got it. Billy, did you see that the super rich are leaving New York because they're afraid of that crazy Mamdani? And he might, yeah. Oh, let me tell you something. Mamdani is, and by the way, it's the Democrats are so, I'm an observer now. I am an observer. I'm a middle independent observer. I think the right wing, heavy right wing shit is crazy. And I think the left wing mainstream Democrats are now embracing Zoran Mamdani, who's leading for mayor in New York City. This is crazy. Hakeem Jeffries, the Speaker of the House, has endorsed him. The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, has endorsed him. They're all falling in line behind Zoran Mamdani because they're so desperate for a win somewhere. They want to be like, yeah, we're with the winner. This guy's going to bankrupt New York. The super rich are leaving, but even the kind of rich and the kind of successful are leaving because in this guy's world, if you're a success, you're a traitor. You've screwed your own country by doing well here. It's the craziest messaging. And the Democrats now, out of desperation, trying to find their footing, having become so undone by the Donald, they're embracing Marxism. It's astounding. Cuomo still has a chance. I mean, look, he's a thug. Cuomo in many ways, he's an imperfect man. Zoran went after him in that debate for being accused of sexual harassment. He allegedly, this woman in his office, hey, do you like older men? Do you like that? Guys are creepy and just, inside. If you don't have a governor, the amount of creepy thoughts that run through a man's head during the day and what I mean? Just if we could have a ticker tape on the forehead of Steve over here. If Steve had a ticker tape, I'm serious. And every thought that came into your head went across your forehead like a I'd be out there with you. I mean, I know you. The first thing you think is, let's see about that. Woman doesn't do that. A woman doesn't walk into a room or a conference room and be like, oh, I'd make out with him. He's handsome. Oh, that's nice. But a man walks in and says, boy, would I love to. Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. It's just the way it is. And Zoran the moron, as Michael Rappaport calls him, looks like he's going to win. Michael Rappaport is crazy. Do you follow him? He's crazy. I admire his balls, but he's, it's so sad. As long as it never says sucker on your forehead, you're good. Well, that could mean many different things. Yeah, that would be, it'd stop you along the way. Oh, God. What did Trump say? Trump said he was going to keep the time. I'll decide what time it is. It's my time. Why not? He's controlled everything else. What Donald says what time it is, we all say, yes, sir. I got you. Debsky, I am a centrist. I really am. I believe I'd like to practice. I like to practice radical centrism. You know what I mean? Like, get on it. Whoa, Steve. That's not true, Billy. We women do look at a man's lips. And, oh no, there's the word I can't stand. Oh no. Bulge. No, white male Oprah has been undone. Oh, white male Oprah has been struck. short-circuited. You got to plug white male upper back in. You didn't do it. I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to say it. I did. I had to say it. Oh my God, there's the word nobody wants to hear. Nobody likes that word. It's a very bad word. But when Arnold Palmer walked into the locker room, the other players, they would go, oh my God, look at that. I wasn't going to say that, but I had to do it. I really had to do it. What a bulge. I'm going to say it one more time. I had to do it. I had to do it. Jesus. Oh my God, you hit me with that. We do think that at times, Billy. Jen, are you coming out of like, you're just like, did you look both ways and like, you know what? If we're all being honest in this chat section, I'm going to say it too. Damn it, I do look at a bulge. I do. You know what that means? I'm carrying a pair of socks down there from now on. I'm just going to have such an obnoxious bulge that people in meetings cannot like focus. You know what I mean? Because I think, you know, although men do check out other bulges, I got to say, I've seen Steve looking at whenever my legs are crossed. When my legs are Lisa, what is happening? Oh my God. Whoa, thank you for seeing my talent and not my rhymes with mulge. You know what? Oh my God, I cannot see. Christina, behave yourself. These people are crazy. I got to say, there's Jules. There's Jules. What is Jules going after? Jules, what are you doing? Tighty whities to keep it snug. Boxers for low hangers. Oh, God. I got a friend whose balls are so big he sits on them. Every sits goes, oh, God darn it. And he's sitting on that's just awful. Oh, my God. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. Whoa. Look at this. Janine says, Arnold Palmer kissed me on the cheek at a tournament back in the 70s. Janine, my God. You know, the great story about Arnold Palmer is he's in the grill after a round of golf, and this woman comes over and she's like, hi, Mr. Palmer. How are you, Arnold? And he's like, oh. And apparently the other men at the table agreed that the woman was maybe not the most beautiful woman. She was very sort of not up to Arnold Palmer, you know, sort of caliber. And Arnold was talking to her, grabs her by the hand. They leave. They go upstairs into the hotel and an hour later, Palmer returns. And the guy says to Palmer, what's up, dude? Why did you do that? If you're Arnold Palmer, you could have anyone. And he goes, well, you can't do them all if you don't do them all. That is terrible, Mr. Palmer. Oh my God. My father used to go to restaurants, and he didn't order the Arnold Palmer. I like the Arnold Palmer. My dad always liked it with orange juice instead of lemonade. He liked it with orange juice, iced tea, and mint. And he would go to the waitress and say, sorry, the server, and say, can I have I'd like a salad, whatever, and a Jonathan Bush. And, you know, the server would say, I don't know what that is. He says, you don't know what that is? And he would always make a moment out of it. And I want you to try it. It's actually very good. Orange juice, mint, and iced tea. And of course, you know what the John Daly is. Arnold Palmer and a little vodka. Yeah, that's a John Daly. Same thing, but with booze. There is no business like show business. Can we take a poll? Let's take a poll. I like a poll, Steve. Here we go. Girl, can we take a poll? I'd much rather hear Billy call himself Big Willie than the Bushman. Well, the Clutchman, the Big Willie. I put Big Willie in there, didn't I, Steve?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Big Willie style. I gotta say, it was
Clutchman.
Yeah, Big Willie. I'm not that, you know.
Bill.
The only thing big on this Willie is his optimism. His optimism for life and what's happening in the world right now. Free Willy. Okay. These people are crazy. It's wild. There's Cleo. Hey, girl. There's the Bushman. Yeah. Bush has suffered a lot in this culture that we're in, you know? The Bushman forever. That's right. Yeah, the Bushman is people like, oh my God. Keep doing your thing, Big Willie. Mm-hmm. Whose thighs? Jesus. Steve, what's going on in here? Get control of this, Steve. Steve has lost control. I'll tell you what. We have some meetings today, Steve. We do. Who's Wednesdays? Who's tomorrow's Hot Mics podcast? It's Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions. We're starting to wade into some conversations with NFL quarterbacks. I'm a sports guy, and I want to just sort of weave in some sports too. I'm all over the place, guys. Psilocybin, right? Quarterbacks. Who did we interviewed yesterday? It's going to run next week. It won't be live. It's going to run next week, but had the most amazing hour-long conversation with Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams, QB. Fantastic, working on Josh Allen and some other guys, which is just, I'm obsessed with football, and I love what these guys do. So we got that. We had Cheryl yesterday. We got Bill O'Reilly coming up in studio. I want to talk to Bill O'Reilly about people like Candace Owens and my beloved friend Tucker Carlson, and I've known each other since we were 17. He's got Nick Fuentes in there. He's got all these. I mean, how much of it is algorithm whipping and how much of it is I don't know. But anyway, looking forward to all of that. So we're rocking on that front. Sponsor meetings coming up here in a second. Text 3 friends right now. Text them. Text it. Grow the community. And for that, I will give you my tremendous mail. Oprah. Fading his way out. Let's get a little of this music. And roll the credit. Okay, here's the credit. Please, Willie, keep doing your thing. Really, thank you. Great day. They love 12 on show. Very hot man. I don't need breakfast, baby. Not until afternoon. I like to get that body grinding. What are you talking about, Willis? Deb, I hate the Deb hates the goodbyes. That's sometimes you get that missed if you don't go away. You know, the whole